What is up, fam? Wow. I'm super excited. This is going to be my first podcast ever. I'm just going to upload it to YouTube, and eventually we'll get audio only.
At the next light, turn left.
On different platforms and things like that. But right now, I'm just starting it off on YouTube, and anybody that's down to listen, thank you. I appreciate you, and I'm excited to see where I can take this. So the first podcast, I just kind of want to
at the light, turn left onto West Algonquin Road.
Talk about my passions, my ambition that I have for the world, and just just kind of want to chop it up with you guys. I just want to put something out there, and just want to start my first podcast. I feel like it's been pushed back too long, and I really, really, really love to communicate with like-minded individuals, and ever since a young kid, I've just always loved people. Like, I've just loved being kind to others. I've just been such an empathetic, compassionate individual throughout my, legit DNA that, I'm just emotionally sensitive, in other words. So, growing up, I just always was extra super duper kind, because that's how I wanted other people to treat me. And every time somebody would get treated poorly, I could feel that, very, very much so. And it was hard for me. I'm not gonna lie, even now it's hard for me. If I'm around a personality that's pretty sharp or edgy, I will sometimes get a little bit butthurt, but I just have to, I have to understand that it's just how this world is sometimes. You just have to have some thick skin. And I don't know if this podcast can help other people possibly, get some thicker skin. That would be awesome. If I can bring some perspective to some people, that would be amazing as well. But ultimately, if I could just spread a good vibe, my kindness and my happiness to you, that's really all I could ever ask for. And that's honestly what I'm most excited for as well. So I'm excited to see where I can take my career. I haven't been chasing my dream all of my life. As a kid, my dream was always to become a professional fisherman. But unfortunately, I was always told as a kid that, from my dad actually, that's not an occupation that I would ever want. And it's simply because fishermen are like starving artists, and it's really, really, really difficult to be successful in the industry and to live a meaningful, happy life. And my dad knew that, and for that reason, he really, really, really strayed me away from wanting to pursue my passion of fishing. And looking back at it, it was really tough to stomach, because I also had huge dreams for, becoming a pro baseball player, basketball player, and I just unfortunately wasn't physically gifted with the size, really. I mean, I've got the speed, I've got the athleticism, so I believe, and I feel like I've got the work ethic to get there. But unfortunately, I just realized around junior year that my body was not gonna grow into my ambitions for sports. And it was a really tough thing to realize as a kid, when sports is everything, especially when you look at fishing like it's just your hobby and just your meditation. So I really didn't have anything else. And growing up, I've always really loved entrepreneurship. And I know that because I resonate with a lot of Gary Vee's podcasts that explain him, in his childhood, ringing doorbells, selling, whatever, just going door to door and shoveling snow or mowing lawns. That's what I was on, and that's what I love to do, truly. If I wasn't playing sports, that's what...
Continue on to West Algonquin Road.
I found a lot of joy in that. I just really, really did. And so I it wasn't until about 18 years old, because I went to college.
Stay in the right 2 lanes.
I went to college simply to make my family happy. My family.
In 7.8 miles, take a slight left turn onto West Palatine Road.
I really didn't. I hated school all my life, so I knew that I didn't want to go to school, but I knew that I would disappoint my family if I did that. So what I decided to do was, I kind of said, all right, I'll go out on my own, and I'll go to school for entrepreneurship. And I unfortunately just fell on my face. I did not have the right mindset and perspective to become successful, and because of that, I got greedy. I fell on my face. I was not the smartest individual I could have been, and
stay in the right 2 lanes.
I'm proud to have come back home in late 2017, but I was about 18 years old, about to be 19, and as soon as I was on the cusp of turning 19, that was when I kind of found Gary Vaynerchuk, and I resonated so much with him because my ambitions have always been, my goals have always been way too big, if I'm being honest. And it's why my parents and my family have always been so scared of my ambitions, is because I want to become an entrepreneur. I want to become one of the biggest, fishermen in the entire world, and I want to be known for giving back, just like Gary Vee does in the entrepreneurship world. It's not like there wasn't a bunch of famous entrepreneurs before Gary Vee was around, but now and forever, he's been going after the legacy of putting the most entrepreneurs on, and that's essentially what I want to do with fishing. I want to put as many people on to the sport and hobby and meditation that I love and am good at, and I just want to give everything I can to my community and the people that support me, because I just know that with my love for entrepreneurship, my love for keeping ahead of the game, and my love for living within my means and just being a minimalist styled guy is just exactly what brings me happiness. And that's why I feel like there's just so much opportunity in the world, especially with the blockchain infrastructure and technology right on the cusp of becoming mainstream within a few years. I genuinely believe that we're in a position, all of us creatives, to go after whatever dream that we have. But what Gary taught me was that you have to be practical about that. You have to be self-aware. You can't just have a huge ambition to make a bunch of money and just do that. You have to genuinely come up with the right ingredients to bake the proper cake, so that when you put it in the oven, it's going to rise, and it's going to be moist, and it's going to be delicious when you take it out, and it's not going to be a mushy pile of ingredients that aren't even mixed together. And so I think the biggest misunderstanding I guess I had on life before I fell on my face for the last time was simply just the fact that I didn't have patience and self-awareness. I really didn't. I wasn't leaning into what I was extremely passionate about and what I genuinely love so much, and a lot of it's because of the stigma around one of them, and the other is just because my dad telling me that fishing is not the industry that you want to make it in. So I don't know, ever since late 19 or early 19, I should say, late 18, so year 2018 we'll call it, is when I started really changing my life and chasing my dream and utilizing every ingredient needed to put the cake in the oven and just allow it to bake properly. And I genuinely feel like I'm on a next level mission, and I genuinely feel like, due to my ambitions and my goals and how underrated I am in the world at 23 years old, I genuinely believe I can utilize this technology to benefit and to help every single one of the community members that have helped me and that support me and that want to see me win and that just want to see this world become a more kind and better place, because that's where my intent lies, and that's what I am going to create out of, is my ambition to help this world become a better place rather than it be a not so good place and not so inclusive place. I want
Save 3 minutes via West Euclid Avenue.
exactly the way that Minneapolis felt this weekend for VCon. I want every single person to be super, super kind and extremely compassionate and empathetic. Like, that's just going to make the world a better place. Like,
In 9.5 miles, turn left onto South Roselle Road.
and venom on you, it's out of their own insecurities. And we need to have empathy for them. And we need to ask them, are you okay? We don't need to come back with fire. We don't need to come back with, some negativity. Like, if I'm being honest, like, we're better off just coming back with, are you okay, brother? Like, is everything all right? Like, you do realize we only got 24 hours in the day, boss. You know what I mean? Like, why would you want to waste any of those 24 hours, yet alone 15 to 30 seconds or 2 minutes to leave a negative comment on somebody else's page that's trying to become better and trying to chase their dream? Like, why? You know what I mean? Why? There's no reason for it. And so for that reason, I just genuinely can't wait to live in this day and age, and I just hope to inspire people to, lean into their dreams, lean into some self-awareness, understand who you are, understand what you love to do, what you like, what you don't like, so that you can eventually, make something meaningful and impactful for this world, utilizing, the internet and eventually the blockchain. Like, why? I just don't understand why we wouldn't do that. And I guess the way I can look back at, my 17-year-old self and ask why I didn't do it then was because I was looking at 17. I'm not even kidding, fam. I was literally looking at Viners. I was seeing Nash Greer come up like a motherfucker. Logan Paul, pew, Jake Paul, pew. And I'm just like, man, these guys are literally just like me. They're from Ohio. They were wrestling. Like, they were doing all these normal things in high school, and then all of a sudden they just gave it all they got on the internet and utilized that as a way to build awareness. And honest to God, they'll even both admit, as far as the Logan Paul brothers go, these guys are hooligans. Like, they're fucking awesome. I love them both. I think they're amazing creatives, and I know that they've gone through their fair share of adversity and issues throughout their path of fame, but in all reality, like, they are beasts of creatives. They are extremely, extremely smart individuals, and I just knew that I had that. Like, I could see the attention graph, and I could see how impactful it was to become an influencer. But I didn't have the humility to create something and have the colleagues and my friends and family judge that and make fun of me and call me out and say, why are you on Vine, dude? What, do you think you're going to be the next Viner? Like, I was genuinely scared of those types of remarks, and I had a lot of time to ponder about it. And by the time Gary Vee was talking about TikTok in 2019, like late 2019, I was like, screw it, I'm hopping on this. I was like, I'm not waiting. And I, again, because of Gary Vee, I literally started a new Instagram account aside from the one that I started in high school. And that way I was able to feel comfortable to create. And due to that, like, I literally built an Instagram page that's now even more impactful than my original page. Like, I just have so much more engagement, and I have more people that are interested in my journey because I've been expressing my love and my soul throughout the past 4 years online. And granted, that's resulted in very few followers in comparison to, like, the grand scheme of thing, but I'm just extremely honored and humbled to be at least putting in my reps, you know, like I'm just putting in the time, and I just know within 5 to 10 years, like it's just bound to happen. And I'm just eternally grateful for this opportunity, and I just can't wait to better this world utilizing that kind of attention and that kind of awareness. And I feel like I'll be extremely, extremely thoughtful with that. And I also believe that I won't ever understand how difficult it will be to navigate until I do start to navigate having that kind of awareness. And I just pray that I have the right resources next to me so that I can do it and go about it the perfect way, so that I'm not disappointing anybody or, you know, making anybody in my community feel like they're lesser than, or you know, I just want everybody to feel included, whether you're male, female, you know, a transgender, in the LGBTQ community at all. Like, I just want every single person and listener and like, I just want everybody on this world to be happy and to experience the happiness that I experience on a daily. And if that's gonna, if a medium for me as an artist to create that and to bring that energy to you is through a podcast, then I have honestly, I've got nothing better to say than thank you for listening, and I just can't wait to see where this goes. And I just love you all so stinking much, and I just can't wait to see where this goes. And yeah, thank you for listening to this first podcast of mine, and I can't wait to see what's to come next. Thank you, guys.